Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Chiwendo Pisenze. Today I want to talk about authenticity over perfection. You can bear me witness that there are certain level of perfection, standard of perfection out there that we are expected to live up to simply because we are born into this earth. Some of them are something like maybe the level of intelligence you have to have, how your body has to be, are you slim or are you fat, all those kind of things. So when you are not able to meet up with those standards of perfection, it becomes mentally draining. So our lives become a kind of trying to live up to these standards consciously or unconsciously. So, but what I love about authenticity is for you to get to your authentic self, to live authentically, you must have gotten rid of all those things that lead to conformity, that lead to living a particular way or trying to live in a particular manner to meet up a particular standard. So for you to get to your authentic self, you have to continue to dig deep, and to excavate, if you like, excavate or unlearn the things you must have learned originally when you were born into this earth, the things society has presented to us as the way we should be and should not be, the way we should talk and should not talk, the way we should dress and should not dress. You have to unlearn those things. You have to unlearn every voice you hear within you that is not your own voice. You have to unlearn the environmental factors that you have taken in as who you are, the structures, the archetypes, the concepts of living life here on earth that we have imbibed as who we are, not mostly unknowingly, because there is this study by Dr. Lipton that says that a child from the from the womb to like age 7 is at a suggestible brainwave. So what that means is that at that level you are just taking in things. You don't have the mental capacity to question things. But what happens is that when we grow up, we are so busy pursuing things, either our academics, either money or one thing or the other, that we don't also have time to examine those things we picked up as children, to know whether they align with who we are currently or not. So we just live with them and that's it. So, but for you to live a life that is authentically yours and not trying to meet up with some standard of perfection set out by some people we don't even know, you have to question things. Yes, you have to question a lot of things. You have to really sit down and question things in relation to this particular thing. Who am I? Concerning this thing, what are my thoughts about it? What are my own personal values? What are those feeling tones I pick up within me? What are my feelings saying? Who am I? And that question is a very important one. So when you're able to answer that question of who am I, because the question of who am I answers to who you really are, your authentic self. Because if you are not able to identify your authentic self, you or identify with your authentic self, you will not be able to live an authentic life, so or life that is authentically yours. So that means you have to question these things, know which one you got from where, or that may not even be necessary. You just have to question them to know the ones that still align with you, and then know the ones that you have to let go. So this is why I always say that process of growth or growth and development is just about unlearning of who you are not, or relearning of who you should be, and just that process of unlearning of who you are not in order to embody more of who you are. That is what personal growth and development is. And that is why it is very, very, very important for you to get to your authentic self. You have to untether your soul. You have to untether your soul. By untethering your soul, you are unlearning those things that are not who you are, for you to get to who you truly are, your essence. So living life from your essence, from the very core of who you are, is living your authentic life. So that life, that thing emanating from that depth, that core of who you are, is your own authentic life. So you will just see that when you have done this work of getting to your very core, life will become a kind of flow. So you're no longer looking for a particular standard to live up to. This does not mean that you will not work hard, that you will not strive to be the best at what you do, or even become perfect at a particular thing you do and all that. But what I'm saying is like trying to live a life that is not your own by meeting up a particular standard set out there for us to meet. So that is the area I'm talking about. So you want to choose authenticity over those levels of perfection we are expected to live up to. Your authenticity and mine will never be the same, because who I am and who you are not the same. We are the same, one and the same. Remember, if you know love, oneness, we all are one, but we are also individuated. God individual, like we are all emanations of one thing, God, but we can be said to be God individualized. So because we are individualized in this manner, my authentic life, the way I live my life, the way I perceive this divinity within me, and the way you perceive your own may not be the same. So this is why you have to do the work of decluttering your soul to get to your own authentic self. That is the way to escape the whole perfection thing out there, or living up to a particular standard that is very, very draining. I can tell you I've been there, and also still a student of this thing, just like all of us. And I am not here claiming that I've arrived and all that. We are all in this together. So I am also taking my own advice and all that. So living, I don't know anything that can be mentally draining like trying to live up to a particular standard of perfection out there we are expected to live by. I don't know anything. But when you come to authenticity, you step into a level of freedom that is indescribable, because you have laid down all those weight of trying to be this, trying to be that, trying to live up to this, trying to live up to that. So you're just being yourself. Being is easiest thing you can do, because you are not doing is a kind of living in conformity, but being is just flowing with who you are. Yeah, I always say that life is like music. You just flow, and when your music merges with the music of life itself, with the universal music itself, your life explodes into a success. It becomes an effortless flow. So this is why you need to like get back home to who you are. Come back home to who you are. That is the best thing that you can ever happen to you, and that is where life actually starts. When you have gotten back to who you are, to your home, so who you truly are, your authentic self, that is where life starts. So it's no longer a question of wanting to be vulnerable or not wanting to be vulnerable. It just happens because you are no longer trying to strive or live according to one expectation or of the society or the other. So you're just doing you, which is the best thing that can happen to you. So, but I can also assure you that doing you is what perfection is. So my own perfection and yours are not the same. The perfection of this other person out there and that other person out there should not be what we are looking up to. What we are looking up to should be our own personal, our own standard of our own authenticity, which becomes our own perfection. So that is what I just felt like sharing with you. If you like this sort of content, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also like this content and share with your friends. And I will see you next time. Bye.